And that's what happens when you were putting something together last minute. When I just walk in the door, you click on the closing credits, not the opening credits, and that's just the way it is. But welcome to the Boiling Point podcast alongside Julia from Northern School District as we very hastily put together this after show. And thank you, Julia, for handling the actual meeting and for getting the recording going on our channels for the meeting so that we could still live stream that, as I had a personal commitment this evening with my 9-year-old nephew. He had his chorus concert, so I went to go see that. So thank you, Julia, for handling the meeting so that we could still live stream it.
Oh, not a problem.
And now we're here for a quick after show. So what did I miss in the meeting, Julia? Did anything interesting happen?
Well, it wasn't really a lot of stuff where it was like news breaking or anything like that. It was they did discuss the new board member Renee at the very end did discuss the possibility of finally live streaming, the school board themselves live streaming, and I know this is something that I requested about a year ago, and many in the community are requesting the actual district live stream.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing what we can with your phone and our StreamYard studio here, and we do get. I didn't get a chance to see if anybody had tuned in tonight, but I'm hoping that people know that the Boiling Point podcast is covering these meetings, so I'm hoping that they tuned in. But yeah, even so, as we've said before, it is hard to hear. We're just using a phone at the moment to get these meetings, so that's why we don't talk during the meetings either. So that way you can turn the volume up and you can hear it.
Yes.
Well, that's good that a school board member actually brought that to up in the middle of or not in the middle of a meeting, but brought that up in the meeting so that it could be discussed, and that way people know that it's something maybe you guys need to look at.
Yeah, because all the other districts in the area have been doing it for years, and it's just a little weird that we don't. So
yeah, you guys still do public minutes. Yeah. That is definitely a little weird. So yeah, and it would be not only, I would like to say that it would be easier for us to help cover these meetings then too, if they actually live stream them. Of course, Northern York School Board, if you don't know how, or you're unsure of how to do it, please reach out. We'd be happy to give you a hand to be able to live stream these meetings.
Well, they did do one live stream years ago. It was during the mask mandate. Basically what had happened is the parents that showed up angry about the mandate, they showed up to the school board meetings. It was actually, they had to have them. There's so many people that showed up that they had to have them in the auditorium. And but all the parents obviously refused to wear masks. So the next meeting, they're like, they wouldn't allow anyone to come to the meeting, so they live streamed it.
Yeah.
So the ability is there because they did it once.
Yeah. Well, maybe they just don't have somebody to do it. And like I said, Northern, please reach out. We'd be happy to help you with that. My labor, I charge reasonable amount for my labor, so shouldn't cost too much. My expertise ain't for free.
Yeah.
So all right. So that's good that they talked about that. That would be something I think that would be really great for them. That way the parents can stay more informed. Was there anything else that big happened or?
Next week they will be voting on the bathroom policy.
Oh, okay. So next week is Northern's vote on the bathroom policy. Does Northern York have a problem with boys and girls sports?
No, they have a policy. They've already done that policy. I have to actually pull up to get my son, but I'm hands free. So
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all right. Well, then, yes, if they've already put
they
that policy
they've
in,
already done that policy.
okay,
And
great.
no, they do not allow biological males in uh, female sports. So
Okay. All
yes,
right. Well, then that's good. So then it's just the bathroom policy, I guess, that maybe needs
yeah, that was
addressed.
the one that they were holding off on. But it looks like that's gonna be voted on next week. So
Well, that's good. That'll taken off the table. So it sounds like things are going pretty okay in Northern right now. Which is a good.
kind of smooth. I mean, they didn't discuss the middle school project because they're still waiting for. They put out an RF. I think it's called an RFP. I think is what it's called.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. For a new architect, but so that's going to take probably
Okay.
maybe another month, month and a half. So that's so once that happens, then there'll be long discussions about that again. So,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
pretty much business as usual. Um, there is a family that they didn't say who it was because they don't know if they wanted that to be made public. But there's a family that has a foundation that has offered to kind of refurbish the tunnel. There's a tunnel that goes from one side of 74 to the other side of 74, so that way the students that are going from the school over to the sports field don't have to cross the road. They go under this tunnel, and they
Okay.
offer to kind of refurbish that and make it look really nice, and paint and new flooring. So which was cool. So which is really exciting. It's a kind of a neat tunnel. So
Yeah, yeah, that's cool.
something
Okay.
positive that is going to be happening is that and that's not going to come out of the school funds or anything. That's somebody's donating that money
Oh,
to.
that's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about that with some of the West Shore parents about trying to get like sponsorship or get businesses or something to try and cover some of the costs for some of the things that need done.
Yes. Yes.
And I definitely think that's the way to go.
Mhm. And
How about go ahead?
and there was an issue with the middle school. The air conditioning broke, and they thought it was going to be a little bit longer to get it fixed, but the part came in early, so the air conditioning in the middle school has been fixed. So, which is something
Well, that's
positive.
good.
So, yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, it seems to be like all good things right now. All good things.
Well, that's good. The last thing I want to ask you about then was the because what got us involved to begin with was you were trying to get certain reading materials in the library removed. How's that been going as well?
That's going. That's still going. There's they did talk about that. There are some books that are still being removed. They're bringing it to to like policy committee though. So, but we haven't submitted any recently. The main reason is just because they were a little behind and we wanted to give them a chance to catch up. So,
Okay.
probably won't be doing anything more with that until because we have about a month left of school. So, they're going
Yeah.
vacation. So we will probably just be waiting to the start of the new school year before we do anything more with that.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
But there are still books in review right now. So
Okay. But yeah, like there's a review process once
yeah,
you bring it up to them or whatever, then they review
yeah.
it. So it's not
There,
like
there
that's
are,
going to be rushed.
no, there are a few that the principals read and the librarians read, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, yeah, this definitely needs to go." But then there's others that were like, "Well, we're not sure. Let's take it to a committee." So so there's books still being reviewed by a committee. So, and then there's some books that where the committee is like, well, no, we're going to retain it. And if we still feel like, no, this is a little too much, you know, we send it to the board, and then there's going to be a board committee. So I know that there's a couple books that are going to be reviewed by the board itself. And
Okay.
that final decision. I'm not sure. I don't have the list in front of me to know what they
Yeah.
are. So, but yeah.
Okay. So yeah, all right. Well, then the ones you have, they're going to be reviewing, and
Yeah,
then I understand like creating a backlog and stuff like that. Once they get decide on those, then you can decide your next course of action with other books or fighting to if they decide not to take some of the books out or
yeah.
and then deciding where to go from there. So that makes sense.
And it
Um,
takes us a while because, like, we have to read through a lot of it too. So,
oh yeah, of course.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I barely have enough time to hit all my episodes that we have that we want to do. So yeah,
Hmm.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess this will be a short one because, as you said, things are going pretty normal in Northern. I
Yeah.
am trying to have Renee. I don't think I can pronounce her last name, at least not until I have her tell it to me
Oh,
once.
Bortle May.
Portal May.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I would not have chose that. That's not how I would have pronounced it. So, yeah, I'm trying to get her on an episode, and she's willing to come on an episode, but we've really had trouble connecting. She has preschoolers, and I'm of course busy all the time, so we've really had trouble when she's free. I'm not able to be free, and then the other way around. So
Yes.
we are trying to get Renee to be on an episode, and she is willing. We just haven't had the chance to actually connect yet.
Yeah.
She wants to try and connect tomorrow morning to do an episode, and I'll be honest with you, after the day I've had, I don't know that I'm going to be able to hook up that early in the morning tomorrow after doing what I did tonight. So, because it's raining, the reason I'm not on camera is because I went to go see my nephew in his concert, and it was raining, and I was soaked when I got home. So
Yeah.
I had to change clothes and dry off and everything else. And I believe it's going to be raining tomorrow too, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I am trying to have Renee on an episode, so we'll try and get her on an episode so that we can talk to her about a couple of things. Also, I would like to hear her story about like joining the school board in the manner that she did, coming in like not really an election, but someone resigned, so she replaced the one who resigned, and I'd like to talk about that process and everything. I think that'd be an interesting episode. So we're trying to have her on to talk about that, and of course, we'll ask her about some of the issues at Northern. Northern does not having the same kind of stuff going on that the West Shore School District does, and I'm glad about that. It's good. It's good for we don't want all these school districts to be dealing with
Hmm.
what some of them are dealing with. So it's good. It's good that Northern is not in a kind of a crisis the way
No,
the West Shore is right now.
we're very blessed to be in this district. We've got a good school board. We will have a new superintendent because Mr. Kirkpatrick is retiring. So, but I mean, Mr. Kirkpatrick's a very approachable guy. We're praying that we get a really good new superintendent once he retires.
Yeah,
But the teachers are wonderful. We've never had any serious issues with the school. There obviously there was issues that were caused by outside forces, like with the mask mandate and
yeah,
Satan Club and all that. But
yeah,
the board itself and the district itself is a really great district. So we are very very blessed, to be here. And my husband, his last few years in the military, was a army recruiter before he got out of the service, and this was one of his districts. He
yeah,
recruited 3 different counties, and out of all the schools that he recruited out of, this was his favorite. This is the one that we wanted our kids to go to when we settled here permanently. So
yeah. Yeah, well, that's good then. That's good. And we're just here then just to keep a light shined on things. So that way, we can keep everybody honest and keep everything safe, which is what our job is here to bring people facts and bring people information. And you know what? It's nice to have a 15-minute post show and not have to have an hour and 15-minute post show that followed a 4-hour board meeting.
uh,
So, that's it's nice. It's a nice change of pace when we do Northern. When we first covered Northern, their meetings were going a little long, and I was trying to catch up. So there was a lot of information being exchanged. But now that we've been doing it, the after shows are going to stay pretty short for the most part, unless there's something happening.
yeah.
So
Once they get moving again with the middle school, I do see the meetings getting longer again for
yeah,
our kids. But But
And of course,
no, it's nice to have it business as usual again. But at the
yeah,
same, you want to keep your finger on the pulse, because
yeah, of course.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
just
the minute you're like, oh, everything's good. Because I did that one time. I was a few months I stepped away, and then it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on now? So
yep, nope. It's
yeah,
important to keep the light shined on it. So yeah, that's absolutely. So we're gonna definitely keep doing it, even when things are going good. That doesn't mean we're gonna take our foot off the gas or stop covering it. It means we're just gonna keep doing exactly what we've been doing.
yep.
So thanks for tuning in to the after show. And then for all the parents who tune into the regular to watch the meetings, I'm glad. Thank you for that. Please hit the like button. Please hit that react button. Leave us a comment. That'll help. I mean, that also goes to show that, people do, like, you parents want to see these meetings and hear these meetings. So please hit the like button and the share button on our feeds, because it helps us reach more people, reach more parents. So please help us in that regard. And I'm going to plug the storefront real quick. Bonfire.com/store/the Boiling Point Podcast. Pick up some apparel. All the money goes back into the show. So we're not taking any profits. Everything gets sunk right back into the podcast at this point. Thank you, Julia, for covering the meeting and for handling the live show while I was out during the meeting. And I'm glad that we just had a little short after show, and things are going pretty good there, which is also great news. So
Oh yeah,
until there's a meeting next week, then.
yeah. The meeting is next Tuesday.
Okay, so yeah, next Tuesday we'll be back to bring you the meeting again. We'll bring you another live watch along with the meeting, and then we'll likely do a another small after show after the meeting. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, I am your host JD for Julia, and that's the end.
Have a good night.